Meena, and she is a graduate of her advanced program. She's a C-IAYT yoga therapist. And she was an excellent student, of course, and a very competent yoga therapist. And I asked Meena here today to talk about one of her clients. Thanks for coming, Meena.
Thank you for having me.
I know you worked with somebody in the practicum that like had a car accident and pain and some other things. So I was hoping you could tell us just a little bit about this client and what you saw when she got to you, like who you were working with. You can start there.
She had this accident, it was a car accident, and when she came to me, she had pretty much a lot of pain and symptoms for stress, pain, disconnection between her body and mind. And she tried a lot of modalities, such as chiropractor, prolotherapy, pool therapy, physical therapy. She tried all of this and failed. And eventually, pandemic hit. So she had no other choice, but she was stuck at home. She had lost her job, and she realized that she wanted to, try other avenues. And she signed up for yoga therapy class on breathing deeply. And that's where she saw that clients were needed for practical. And I got her during that time in April of 2022.
And did she, so what were her symptoms when you got her from this accident?
Painfully, her symptoms were absolutely pain scale of 9, stress of 9, no sleep, so lack of sleep. And all of a sudden, she had lost the disconnection, whatever she was doing, there was no connection between her mind and body. So the awareness was lost. And that bothered her a lot. And that's what brought her to me.
And where was the pain she was experiencing? Like
basically, the entire body. Pain was all over her body, especially the neck and the head area because of the whiplash and the jerk that she had. That was what her major concern was.
Mm-hmm. She had been to all these modalities. Did she have a medical diagnosis? Like, what was her diagnosis?
No, all the time, all the MRIs just said wear and tear, age related, nothing definitive. And that's what bothered her. She went to the rheumatologist, and the rheumatologist came out saying, you have fibromyalgia. And she did not want to accept that. That's what brought her to me to the yoga therapist, because she wanted to learn yoga therapy. So that got her to me.
Got it. Okay. So what did you do with her? What were the practices?
So basically, the first time when I saw her, I did this mini intake of what I've already said, what her symptoms were. I basically chose to first do a breath work on her, the diaphragmatic, simple, deep breathing. And that's all the breathing work I gave her. And I said, I'm going to talk to my mentor. You may have to repeat the MRI. Let's meet in a week.
Okay. And so she does her diaphragmatic breathing and she comes back, and what happens next?
She came back after a week feeling, I literally saw her mood shifted, feeling that hope I saw in her face is that this can be done. It may take a long time, but it can be done. So from there, I spoke with you and told the client that we need an MRI. In the meantime, I said, I'm not going to touch your head and neck. I'm going to do a joint frame series with you on Zoom, and we'll do the rest of the body. So I went through the process of joint frame series.
And how did that go?
I got all the documentation and found most of her left side had a lot of tightness from neck down. A lot of tightness, weakness, needed a lot of strength, and she was struggling. And subjectively, she said that she does have spine lateral rotation than she does. She has pinching and tingling and all that. And I said, more than ever, we need that MRI so that we can definitively know what we are doing and not hurting.
Okay, so did you get the MRI?
Yes, she finally sent me the MRI report. The MRI report finally said that she does have existing bulges in her back area and her cervical area. And as I discussed with Brandt, made sure that she has at all times axial extension, neutral head and neck. And I gave her a lot of exercises, poses that are meant to strengthen her hips, knees, her shoulders, the entire body, except for the neck and neck. So when I got the MRI, I had told her to get a PT referral, which she got right away, and she had already started with the head and neck with the PT. So we were doing in conjunction. I was doing the lower part, and the PT was doing dry needling to the trapezius and front of the neck, and some manual kneading of her neck for the rotation and that kind of thing. And
Right.
I was, yeah, and I recorded the entire poses and gave it to her. But first, we did it together for almost 2 hours on Zoom. I wanted to do it. I wanted to see how she does it and gives me the demonstration. And she understands at all times axial extension, neutral head and spine.
So you taught her how
So,
to do asanas. You strengthened and got better range of motion
yes,
on the lower part of her
yes,
body. She's going to a PT who has skills with the cervical
yeah,
spine, and doing manual manipulations. Um,
yes.
so I kind of want to fast forward. Like, how did this turn out? So, like, you're
So
working in conjunction.
basically, moving like that in 3 weeks, when I saw her, absolute improvement in her rotation of the neck
Yeah.
and in her strength of standing and holding. I just asked her to hold 20 to 30 seconds. Soon enough, she was able to hold for close to 45 seconds to close to a minute. So her energy came back, and she looked at me and she smiled and said, I am so positive after 5 years. And that gratified me, is because I think I made a difference by helping her in a way that I could help with your guidance and all my colleagues there. And she felt very good. She was resting, she was sleeping, decreased stress, pain level had gone down to a 5 to a 4, and she was very energetic and vibrant, wanted to learn more things. And she only told me one thing is she had a tough time focusing sometimes. And so I helped her and I said, I can offer you some chanting, just simple Om. If you are okay to do that, I can do it with you for 10 minutes, and then I can send you my recording. So she was very amenable for that. I also gave her a small short yoga nidra for helping her relax when she finishes and gets to the restoration part. And I think that is more important, to get the mind down to a parasympathetic relaxation
Mm.
response. And all this together um, gave her the strength to do what she's doing. She's even gets in touch with me sometimes and says, I love the recording that you sent. I'm still doing them. So
Yeah.
I think by the eighth session, we were ready to, I was ready to give it back to her and wean her off.
Yeah, that was my question. So in 8 sessions, basically, I'm just going to sum up what I heard because it's a really interesting
Yeah.
story. I think and it's really interesting in this way, like in a way like a yoga therapist can be beneficial, in this integrative setting. So
Yes.
basically, you suggested she got an MRI and really get a diagnosis, which was helpful. So just that in
Mhm.
itself was probably incredibly helpful.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
you helped her with her body so that she could hold her head and neck up properly. And
Yeah.
you got her to the PT, so that worked too. And 8 weeks later, she's doing way better,
Yeah.
basically, is what you're
And
saying.
she was
Amazing.
absolutely, and she said, I'm getting the mind and body connection. So she could
Yeah.
realize and get that awareness, what she had lost before the accident or during the accident, that she was able to feel the senses in her mind and body. And I think that was what she was looking for. All of a sudden, she was worried. Has she lost it because of the accident, the way the accident happened? She was T-boned and she jerked and hit her face and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an
Yeah.
interesting case for me because physical body was quite a challenge, even though I'm a nurse. Anatomy, physiology has been pushed into our head. But still, when you're doing muscle testing, especially online, not in person, that's quite a challenge. It's
It
quite
is,
a
but you
challenge.
you did it and showed that you
Yes.
could do it and make a big difference.
Yes.
So I just
Yeah.
want to thank you for sharing it with us, but
Well, thank
excellent
you.
work. And
Yeah, thanks.
I'm sure you're glad, and of course I'm glad hearing the story about how well she did with it. So
She did.
really inspiring. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.